Hi, I'm Dr. Michelle Proscia, a neuropsychologist, and I'm helping out with the Patient Health Questionnaire 9, the PHQ-9, to screen for depression. I have a model patient here. Thank you, Loretta, for being my model patient. And I just want to give you a little bit of background before we get started into this model simulation. The test that you're going to give has some very structured questions, and you have the form that is the PHQ-9. It's real important for you to be aware of what each question is asking, because sometimes the patients don't give you the exact response that you want. So for example, with question 1 was about anhedonia, and you need to be aware that's that lack of interest. Question 2 is about sadness, feeling down and depressed. Question 3 is about sleep. Question 4 is about fatigue and feeling tired. Question 5 is about appetite. Question 6 has to do with failure and lack of self-confidence. Question 7 is concentration. Question 8 are motor changes, either psychomotor retardation, slowing down, or more that motor restlessness. And question 9 is really about suicide. Question 10 is that last question that looks at the impact on daily functioning. You've got to keep that in mind, because as you'll see when I ask Loretta these questions, she's not going to give me a straightforward 0, 1, 2, 3. She's going to be that patient that you might see on your stroke floor, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes getting a straight answer can be a challenge. So please take some time to read over the notes, look at the PowerPoint, and know what you're actually asking. Okay. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and for each question, I would like you to think about over the past 2 weeks whether you've had these symptoms or not. And when you answer, I'd like you to think about how often you've been bothered by these problems. Do you follow me?
I think I do. I mean,
okay.
Why are you doing this?
I want to check in, at the end it's about discharge time for you, and we want to check in about how your mood is. Sometimes when you have a stroke, people feel kind of down or have some symptoms, and that's what we're looking at. We're kind of look at depression. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm just going to ask you some questions. And as we go through them, I'm going to ask each question. I want you to choose which one of these you think best answers the question for you.
Okay,
but we'll go over it together. So the first question I have for you, and remember, this is over the past 2 weeks. The first question is, do you have little interest or pleasure in doing things?
0.
0. So
you don't have that. That means not at all, right?
Yeah, so you don't have, you have interest and pleasure, correct?
Yes.
Okay. It's a little bit confusing, isn't it?
It's a little bit confusing because what I was in the last 2 weeks and what I am now. So how am I supposed to answer this?
That's a good question. So we kind of want to go overall what you think you're feeling. Do you have interest in doing things?
Right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. So that makes sense because this question was little interest, so 0, you don't have that. How about feeling down or sad, depressed?
I guess 1.
1,
There's
okay.
a few days.
There's a few days.
Yeah.
And I know that may have changed over the past 2 weeks, but let's kind of go with how we are now during this discharge time. So
Okay.
we'll say a 2 for that one. You said 2 or you said 1?
1.
1, so several days. Okay. How about sleep? We're going to ask you about sleep. Any problems falling asleep, staying asleep, or sleeping too much?
Oh, yeah.
Sleep is a problem for you?
Yes.
So how much of a problem do you think it is?
I guess number 2.
Number 2, so more than half the days you're having that problem. Okay.
I mean, sometimes I just fall right asleep.
Well, that's a good thing.
But other days.
It's harder, isn't it? How about your level of energy, kind of fatigue? Feeling really like, oh, I'm so tired, I don't have the energy. How much of that do you think you have?
Oh, boy. Maybe 2.
2? Okay,
yes.
so more so than not, so more
Yeah.
than half the days, okay? How about just having like a not really good appetite or eating too much? Food is a bit of an issue. Which one would you say?
Well, I've been watching my weight, so I would say I'm not eating much before. I would say maybe 1.
1, okay, so not much before, and so several days, not all the
I've been trying to
time.
cut down.
So you're working on that.
Yes.
And it probably helped being in the hospital too, didn't it?
Yes, the hospital food.
Yes, exactly. How about feeling kind of bad about yourself, feeling like you're a failure or you kind of let your family down? let yourself down?
I would say 0.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. This is kind of about your concentration. That sometimes it's harder to concentrate on things or read the newspaper, watch TV, that sort of thing. How much problems do you think you have with concentrating?
I would say 0.
Oh, good.
I'm just
You're
busy.
feeling pretty good.
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes people with a stroke kind of go slower or maybe even faster. So kind of either moving or speaking slowly, and other people have noticed, or kind of moving around way too much, being restless. Do you have either of those?
I think I've been just a little bit, since I've had the stroke, I would say 1.
One. Okay, so a little bit more than normal.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts that you want to end your life, or you're better off dead, or want to hurt yourself?
No. 0.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. That's a good thing. So we talked about some of the problems you're having. You kind of mentioned some of the sleep issues, that lack of energy, feeling a little bit down, right? And
But I have thyroid trouble too, so.
so that could be part of it
Yeah.
too. That's a really good point. But especially kind of now. So those problems, you think, how difficult would it be for you to do your work or take care of things at home or get along with other people, kind of the level of what you have? So this looks at things being not difficult at all, somewhat difficult, very difficult, or extremely difficult.
That's a hard question.
I know it is. Like those problems, the level that you had, you kind of see how you have some of the more than half the days, several days. What would you say? Makes it a little bit difficult?
Yes,
Or
somewhat.
somewhat difficult.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes about sense there for that one. Well, I really appreciate you being open and honest with me. This is helpful information. We just want to check in and make sure everyone how they're feeling before they leave. Okay? So thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you.